I want to share the power of mantra and intention. I moved into this new apartment, and this apartment, right off the bat, was quite auspicious. Even the number 13, okay? I looked at other apartments, and the number 13 is non-existent. They have 12A as the number 13. So there's a 12, and then there's the 12A. But this apartment had the number 13. But for me, I see 13 as 1 plus 3, which is 4. And 4 is an angelic number. I am born on April 4th during the 4th day of the moon. So 444 is my frequency, the frequency of my birth, okay? And I resonate with 4 because it is the earth angel, okay? So whenever I feel the presence of an earth angel around me, either it's a neighbor who is an artistic, creative mind, visionary mind, either the book writer, a teacher for children, or script writer, poet, sculptor, even a forest bather, okay, that earth angel. Whenever I feel an earth angel around me, I always see the number 4. 444. Okay, so I never associate 13 with paranoia, but a lot of people do. So coming into this apartment, right off the bat, it was auspicious experiences happening in dreams. So the dream, there were 2 dreams, and it was very much like Inception, if you've seen that movie, very much a dream within a dream within a dream. So my mother told me one morning that she had a dream where I was laying beside her, and I turned her over and I said, "Mom, there is a demon in this apartment. The demon goes through the walls into other people's apartments, but it lives here." Okay, and before that dream, on a different night, the night before that, before I went to bed, I said to my mother, there is an entity in this house. Okay, it's in the corner right there. And of course, I don't want to be in a house where there is a demon, okay? But this demon, I didn't necessarily fear this, because I don't fear the darkness as other people do. They fear the darkness. I don't fear such thing. But I definitely did feel a lot of anger. I started to pay attention to my feelings, and I started to notice that I had an incline to be angry a lot. So I felt almost agitated, and I knew it was because of that demon, because I'm not naturally an angry or very agitated person. But I was noticing that I had almost like a lot of heat in my body, and it was just kind of frustrating me, okay? It was like my life was frustrating me, and I was always kind of a little bit irritable, okay? So what I did is I just did what I normally do in my any home that I would live in, is I did my sadhana, my early morning and before bed sadhana, where basically it's Kundalini yoga. So there's movement, there's mantra, there's meditation, there's gong, there's chanting, okay? And I started to just literally amplify my presence, okay? I just amplified my presence and throughout this entire house, okay? And what happened is I noticed my feelings started to change. The anger, agitation, frustration that I was feeling, it started to remedy itself. I just felt more in my element, like I was actually in a home that I would consider my home. Because before, it was like, I gotta get out of this place, I gotta get out. Like, I just felt like I gotta get out, I can't stay here, like I have to leave, I have to go somewhere. And then I started to feel like the vibration of this home, the vortex, started to be my own. It is as though my presence started to prevail over this entire apartment. But then the weird thing, very, very suspicious, is that the neighbor had video games and TV that would be playing, but it got very loud. It was in my mother's bedroom, and she would before she would go to bed, and right when she would wake up, there would be these video games and there would be these loud TV, and she would be angry and agitated. She would wake up and she was angry, she was agitated, she'd go to bed angry, agitated. And I realized I cleared it out of my space. I cleared it out of the corner it was attached to, because I basically would just chant in that corner and stare at the corner and chant, a call, a call, a call, or do the long echoing cars. And that corner became basically a prosperity corner. It'd be that vortex of darkness became a vortex of great prosperity. So I basically polarized that portal that was there in that corner from despair to great abundance. Okay. But then there was a corner in my mom's room I started to be drawn to. I was like, there's something in that corner. Even when I would meditate early in the morning or before bed, I could feel there was a corner in my mom's room that demon left the corner, okay, of the space that it was in before, and it went to that corner and it was attached to that. So basically it was kind of festering with the young man who lives beside us, and I saw him once, and I feel that young man was basically being tormented through it was the music, the TV, the video games. It was pretty neurotic. The video games were like shoot 'em up. The music was like heavy duty metal. The TV was just like chaos. So there's just a lot of chaos going on in that young man's his mind. So what I did is I went into my mother's room and I would stare at that corner and I just chanted a call, 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 call. And just the day later, all of the video game sounds, the TV sounds, the chaotic music, it all went quiet. And I remember when my mother and I were doing a Kundalini set together, she looked over at me, and we were basically in deep meditation. We're very kind of like spaced out. And she said, I think you healed that boy, or you're healing that boy. And I saw that boy one day outside, and he's disabled. He has a crippled arm, where one of his arm is like a baby arm, and the other arm is like an adult arm. Okay, so he's crippled, and I just saw him, and I felt a lot of his pain, his social pain, his own inner anxiety, his own feeling of isolation, of being misunderstood, of being judged, of feeling like he doesn't belong here. I felt a lot of I'm out of place, this isn't where I belong, I don't belong here kind of vibe. And I started to realize that we are all placed into an environment for a reason. I don't feel, when we came here, my mother and I were like, let's get out. But going through what I went through, I do know that we're placed in environments for a reason, especially if we are practitioners of what we could say Kundalini yoga or meditation. Basically, we're space holders. Okay, we're space holders of a higher frequency, okay, like earth angels kind of thing. Basically, we're holding a higher frequency in our body, in our mind, in our rhythmic intelligence of our heart. So basically, you know, as an earth angel, we are placed in environments. It could even be a job, such as my mother, when she left her job, she would get messages that it kind of became very imbalanced when she left. Okay, and I told my mom, I said, you are the one you are holding a space for that entire entire department. And she was, because when she left, it just got very uneven, very imbalanced, a lot of sort of conflict going on, okay? So her being placed in that department with her job, and through her basically holding a higher frequency, she was able to basically bring, because whoever has the strongest vibration wins. And, and anybody who's a meditator usually has a stronger vibration than the people who are not really, linking up or synergizing or synchronizing themselves with their soul, okay? So she had a prevalence over that whole department, and just her presence, her ambience, literally an ambience, just like living in nature, there's an ambience of just health and wellness. Her ambience was able to basically like self-adjust people, okay? People could self-adjust themselves just by being in her presence. And then this is not what we call, I don't know, what people call woo-woo or stuff like that. There's science to forest bathing. When you go into a very clean forest, you are naturally happier, emotionally happier. Okay, there's scientific evidence to being emotionally happy when you're in a forest. Okay, forest bathing. Okay, which is being present, smelling the roses, kind of thing, and you naturally become more patient, compassionate, and steady. Okay, you become more subtle. It relaxes you. Okay, so being placed in this apartment, I was like, oh no. I was placed in an environment with a demon, and I thought maybe I can get the demon, maybe I can send him to the Holy Spirit, but I was like, that's going to take a lot of energy, and I was like, I don't know if I got that kind of energy to do that, because this demon particularly was almost like a goblin type of thing, where it festers you, it kind of torments you. It's like one of those mischievous, almost like a leprechaun kind of vibe, where it just kind of does what it wants. It doesn't really listen. It kind of just, careless, just running around, so unproductive kind of vibe. So I just said, I'm just gonna focus. I'm gonna focus very deeply on basically linking up with my soul through my morning and evening sadhana, and just through linking up with my soul and amplifying that, broadcasting that throughout this entire house, in that one corner, another corner of the house, the apartment. I was able to blaze through any sort of vortexes of, I don't know, darkness in this apartment, even in the neighboring apartments above, to the right, to the left. And now I feel this whole area has an elevation to it. Because when I came in, I was like, this is not a prosperity vortex. This home is not prosperity vortex. But now I actually feel a sense of elevation, a sense of upliftment, a sense of empowerment. So that I wanted to share this experience as kind of an encouragement to your own practice of mantra and intention. Okay, so I set intentions through the mantra, through the mantra, the frequency, the vibratory field of the mantra. I basically underline my intentions through the mantra. So I'm chanting the mantra, but I'm also mentally basically reciting the intention simultaneously. And I find that as my method of basically amplifying my soul, amplifying and broadcasting that soul to have a level where it can prevail over any sort of vibrations that may be, trying to pool and maybe distort, or maybe try to imbalance me, anything like that. Because they're out there. There's a lot of vibrations that will pull you off your center, rip you away, distort you, confuse you, scramble you, okay, make you fear, make you be paranoid. Okay, there's a lot of that in TV shows, even little entities, demons kind of stuff. But having that deep soul connection is basically our greatest chance. It's our greatest chance at having sovereignty on this planet at this time. It's our greatest chance. Without that soul connection, I don't even know. Life would be one quite sort of, I don't know what to do sort of experience. And that soul connection gives me options. It gives me options in what I can do because I have the energy to do them. I'm not so energyless where I feel bound, I feel tied up, I feel stuck, I feel stagnant. That soul connection gives me options to decisions I can make. And if this decision, if I'm not vibing with it, I can change it. And this is evidence to me and the own power of mantra and intention, evidence that we can rewrite the reality of a home, even of a job, even of our life. We can rewrite the vibratory field of our mind, of our heart space, of our relationship, the home, like I said, the job, it could be the school, it could be the friends, it could be the family. We have that within us to basically elevate a reality. So if there's realities that are, like I said, the neurotic sort of video games and the chaotic sort of TV, we have as a sovereign being, we can amplify that sovereignty so impactfully that there's a level of it offsetting any sort of vibrations around that are, in an imbalanced state or a rhythmic state or neurotic state. We have that within us. And for me, it's not necessarily I'm setting the intention or focusing on trying to remedy all of the imbalances around me. No, it's through the total commitment to my soul that just naturally I just start seeing balance around me, okay? Especially the place that you really take root. So your root, which is your home base is your temple. It's basically your largest broadcast, and it should be your largest broadcast. Your home. It's a place you go to charge yourself. Okay, to charge yourself, because your life, you need to you charge your car kind of thing. And home for me is that great antenna, that great broadcast that sends out great signals of prosperity, abundance, sovereignty, and freedom. Okay, so